Greetings in love and kindness, family. I'm Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, the one and only Conscious Self-Healthcare educator and host of the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation radio show. Every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Community, this is your time to share your wellness stories and how you move from disease care to conscious self-health care. I want to hear your story. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation each Wednesday. Call in and share how you shift out of chronic disease care stress. Right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. This is Dr. K, and I am looking forward to our conversation. So call in and share. Health is consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. Come on, family. It's time to rock the world with the new frontier of conscious self-health care, while I share my wellness story with you right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. Taking those deep, deep breaths. Sitting back, relaxing. Time to do some unwinding. Shake those nerves out. Move those hips. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Bringing everything back in alignment. Can't be giving that power away to what's going on. You got to know how to move mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Just dance. A nice rhythm and flow of dance. Even if you're feeling good, don't let nobody take your joy, steal your happiness. Shift your vibration. Let your mind and your body be free. Dance with me. How you overcome it all? Let your mind and your body be free. Dance with me. 8/7/2019. August the 7th, 2019. How you doing, family? Listeners of Inner Light Radio all around the globe and back to where I'm at, the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And we had to shift that vibration here. We got to extend that vibration that it reaches all the way around the world. That's how change happens. That's how we move forward in unity and harmony when there seems to be disharmony and no unity. Everything seems to be disarray. They call it a chaos state. But sometimes in the midst of chaos, things are being straightened out. Things are being changed. Things are being shifted. So how are you going to stay focused in the midst of all those things? Are you going to fall in line and move like everybody else? Or are you going to stay centered? Stay in tune, be in balance with the real flow and harmony of life. Because anytime there's a major change going on, there's a whole heap of a lot of chaos showing up. all around for everybody. And we can categorize it, and we can put it in this box over here, and we can put it in that triangle over there, and we can put it in that circle over there. We got to take those deep, deep, deep breaths and remain centered and remain in divine, intelligent consciousness of what's going on. Now we need to vibrate to it. How you doing, family? How you doing this week? There's so much going on, and I'm not saying dismiss it. I'm not saying that let's not act like it's not there. We see the chaos. We feel the chaos. We know it through our nerve vibration. And you know I know it through my nerve vibration. Not that I know it, not so much that I do know it and share how I know it energetically, spiritually, and all of that. But with these nerves the way they are from this stroke, I am feeling it all on one side, and the other side is like nothing. So I'm telling you, the energy in the air and what's going on, but there's balance in it. There's structure in it. There's a lot that's happening. And all you got to do as an individual is stay in the flow of love. Laws of vibrational energy. You don't even have to know what they are. You feel it. It vibrates inside of you and it gives you peace. If you would allow it to give you peace, if you will allow it to give you rest, because I had to give it to myself so many times in the past 30 days, but it was all good. It's all good when you take time to know that love is the power that brings our entire life together. Yes, yes, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. Because we're talking about the laws of vibrational energy, because we are vibrational beings first and foremost, that governs this physical body and all that exists on planet Earth. Love heals, renews, restores, and empowers each and every one of us with that divine energy. And that life that comes through that breath. We can't choke on it. We can't allow our nervous system to become so overtaxed through our conscious thinking. I'm love in action. Everything is love in action. Every simple thing that we see, every major thing that we see is love in action. I am the master of positive self-expression, and that is what is being expressed right now. That's my humble opinion of what's going on, and it seems so chaotic and unstructured, and but we know in those things there's structure. We know there's balance, and we know there's harmony, and we got to not give in to what we see in the world, because it ain't always what it look like, and it ain't always what it feels like. It's what you know. It's what you know from that heart vibration. That heart vibration that permeates out and creates your own personal human body field that connects to all human body fields, that connects to all fields in the galaxies and the universes, that shifts and changes everything when it comes into alignment. So we got to remember that we are here to be givers and receivers of that love. In the midst of it all, you recognize it, but you say, we are here to be givers and receivers of love. We may go through something that seems chaotic and has no structure to it, but we got to keep balance. That's why that nervous system is so hard for everybody to get a handle on it, from the bioenergetic realm down to the physical realm, because it is a personal thing. It's the connection, just like the breath of life that gives that life to the lymphatic system that's connected to all systems. that nervous system, the power of that nervous system. Man, I never understood that nervous system. I don't care how many classes I've taken. I don't care what approach I've come from and the information that has been given to me, but it's nothing like the true feeling, the feeling that I feel of these nerves and the tension that's in everybody and what's going around. And we got to shift it from that stress. We can't let it stress us out that we downplay the energetic vibrations of life. We need to bring it back up. We need to bring things in balance. And when that chaos changes and shifts and shows to be something else and it seems like it's not working, it's working. It's the same way you got to have faith in what you're doing when you're healing your body. When something is going on in your body, when you get these cellular malfunctions and they want to call them diseases and they want to blow it up and they want to make it seem such a catastrophe in your life. You got to know. You got to know, you got to know, you got to know. You got to know inside of you. You got to feel it. Sometimes in life, you just got to sit back. Sit back. Watch everything unfold and let the universe do her thing. Let the universe do her thing.
All of my sisters and my brothers, they show love and respect. Always remember, never to forget, that together we stand and divided we fall. All for one and one for all. Oh, let's help one another. All of my sisters and my brothers. Come on and let's help one another.
We got to help one another in all times, in all ways. We got to show that support, that health, education for longevity and peace. I got dropped again. And pick back up again. I may get dropped again. I may not get picked back up again. It's the same thing that happened last week just before the show got started. But that's what I'm talking about. A lot of influctuations can come in and come into your energy like what's going on in the world right now. They got everybody really having a whole bunch of fluctuation and thunderstorms and lightnings and floods and tidal waves going on in the bodies. But you know, you got to find a way to stay in balance. You got to find a way to keep yourself in balance. So once again, I'm your host, Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, the one and only conscious self-healthcare educator, helping you understand how you can become your own wellness doctor and stay in balance in all situations. I'm going to tell you something. For the human body, for the human physical body, it got a lot to do with how you feed this body at any given time. You can't be one way all the time and not this way when you need to be this way and not that way. And we got to understand what we're doing to the body. And with all this mental awareness going on right now and mental concerns for everybody right now, and that's where that stress word lies at and all those things like that, because it makes the autonomic nervous system just goes all kinds of ways, and it's always going. It's the most active system in the body. It is just unimaginable, the processes and how quickly the processes change and go back and forth with the nervous system. And like I was saying, now that I can feel it on one side. I hope we're still on. And so, family, like I want to say to you, last week I didn't do a live show. I talked for like 15 minutes because the same thing that's happening now was happening then. And I said when I came back on the air that nothing was going to stop me from doing a live show. Not the way I felt, not what was going on. First it was hard line, and then it was wireless, and now it's back to hard line, and I don't know where it's going to go from here, but right now it's reading like it's a hardwire connection. So I'm hoping that the vibration and the frequency that's coming across this line that everybody can hear and that everything will shift and get back on balance. But either way, it's all good. It's okay because we're going to take this show whichever way is given to us. And that's what I'm saying about what's going on in the world. You got to not let it shift you from a state of peace, from a state of calmness. And like I've been sharing with y'all that I've been so grateful and blessed that out of all the books that I've given away over the past year or so, the universe had me keep this one little small book that just showed up and came into my life, and it's Nerve Force. And I see why, because of what I'm going through with my nerves and what everybody else is going through with the nerves, and when little things happen, are you going to keep putting those fluctuations in your nervous system and keep putting your fluctuations in the nervous system until those fluctuations turn into a pattern of flow of energy, and the pattern of flow of energy becomes blocked, get cut off from the stagnation, from the quick lightning, from the floods and the tidal waves that's happening in the body. And we don't really want that to happen, family. We got to find some balance and some peace. And so let me see, I'm going to share with y'all this little note from last week that I want to share with you from what happened right after the show. Not this past week, but the following Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago. But before I do that, let me say this. So I'm not a reader of books, even though I have a lot of books. They are mostly metaphysical, medical books, journals, and different things like that. I don't read a lot of other kind of books. I'm aware of them. However, there are some books created for reading and expanding your views. If you can only be tall because somebody's on their knees, then you have a serious problem. That's a quote from the great Toni Morrison. If you can only be tall because somebody's on their knees, then you have a serious problem. I didn't read a lot of books because, like I say, I'm not a reader, because I put the book in my hand and I get the information that I need, and I don't care if people understand that or not. But then there are some books that I just want to read, and I have read a few of her books. We are stronger from the life on planet Earth that Toni Morrison lived. And we are wiser as she returns to full divine energy. And I thank her for her path here on planet Earth, from stopping by on this way station for her 88 years and sharing her life and her work and her words and her vision with the world. And is here in print to be here for a long time to come as we keep her words flowing in the wind. So I take a deep breath for my sister, and I'm thankful that we were here together and I was able to know her works, to see her in person a few times. So it gives my heart joy to know that she has left a vast amount of information for people to expand their views and come to decisions for themselves. So, family, I was not able to do a live show last week, as you know, 7/31/2019. The internet shut down exactly the same time the show was supposed to start, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guess what, family? Exactly at 4:45 p.m. the internet started to work again. I say, who out there that doesn't want me to share how to become your own wellness doctor? Or was it truly a fluctuation in energy? Like we have it now. Fluctuations in energy. Free from pharmaceuticals and worry. Well, guess what? The truth can never be stopped from being shared. The truth always and always come to light. And that's what's happening with what we see around this racism thing. The truth always come to light on how things can be. It makes us stronger. So I am stronger than that. You are stronger than that, than what's showing up and what's coming out. And we just got to stick to the true point of vibration, of vibrational energy, that collectiveness that we have. We ask for the change. We ask for the shift. We have done everything that we needed to do to make this shift come about. We don't like what we're seeing. We don't like the way it's coming. But it's coming for correctness and what's going on, and what's going on, and what's going on. But we got to sit back also and look at the human side of it, the human being, and seeing what's going on with that human being that makes them want to do the things that they want to do, that bring about such chaos in the world, to take away lives, their lives, other people's lives, by using a means, a weapon that's here to bring about destruction in its use anyway. Jamal asked the earlier host of the show before me a beautiful question, and he tied it into nutrition. And as a nutritionist, been a nutritionist, I don't know, for over 30-something years, working in the community. Whenever I would bring my program to the community about nutrition, they didn't want to work with it. They didn't want to tie in behavioral problems and so-called mental issues and the way people were thinking with the diet. You know, it wasn't popular, and I'm not just talking about changing the diet and becoming a vegan or raw eater. I'm talking about providing nutrition for the cells of the human body to bring about a balance mentally, physically, nutritionally, and emotionally through the diet. When I first got into nutrition, I don't know, some 20 years ago, there was she was a probation officer out of Ohio. And she developed this program along with her husband. And it was all based on around nutrition. Send them to me. Let them be their probation officer. Let me work with them with their diet. And let's see if we get that recidivism. Let's see if we can't get them to shift. And her program was such a success, basing things on the diet to change the so-called emotional attachment or what was going on that allowed them to demonstrate bad behavior, chaotic behavior. They changed their diet, took them off all the candy and junk and things like that, and asked them questions. So in my studies, hearing about that program, I adopted it. And I wanted to bring it into the school system in Washington, D.C., and boy, did I had a hard time. Still having a hard time today, letting them see that emotions and all what's going on is related to diet for the physical body. And when that brain doesn't get the proper nourishment that it needs, and then you turn around and put them on psychiatric drugs, and they already thinking the same way and having thoughts a certain way and doing things a certain way to their behavior, and then their bodies don't really, really feel good. And that nervous system is so out of balance, and it's so subtle too. Sometimes people don't even know, why they thinking and doing what they're doing. That nervous system is always going, it's always giving off energy. And it's so important. Doctors don't understand it. The closest profession to understanding the nervous system is chiropractors. It depends on how deep they get into their field and what they're doing. I know this now from what I'm dealing with my nerves and my nervous system and looking at them. And there was nothing they could do for me. No doctor out there, the neurologist or anything. Their answer is strictly drugs. Chopping up, cutting up nervous systems and nerves and creating blockages. And the diet for the human body is so important. And that's how we have to be able to fluctuate our diets and shift it and give the body what it needs to nourish itself so people can be mentally free and feel good about themselves. So we got to take a deep breath and we got to think about it, how we can support. So I'm once again moving towards going out, talking to agencies again, wanting to bring my nutritional program that's attached to this so-called psychiatric illness and problems is going on. Let's really look at the diet and all these people. Let's stop sending them to all these other kinds of programs. Let's send them to a real nutritional program where they have to. Because like I said, when she got into the court systems, they said, well, we're going to give you one more chance, young man. You go with her. And she worked with them to change their diet and they shift their whole life. Everything shift simply by bringing a balance to them within their body systems. It's so important. So after the show on the 24th, I took a deep breath and I relaxed. And I said, oh, that was a great show. And thank you so much to everybody that came to me and shared with me. And I don't listen to that show so much. And it's such a great show. I'm telling you, you need to go back and listen to the show on the 24th. It is so inspiring. But it also told me about some things that was going to happen right after the show. And I didn't even realize it until after everything had happened. So let me just say this. The integumentary system, better known to lay people as the skin, is the largest of the body's organ systems and one of the most important. I feel so blessed and thankful for the skin I'm in. It has been 14 days from the day of the laptop battery explosion, and I'm happy that I can see and the way my skin has healed in under 14 days. Yes. I'm feeling awesome. When I thought that I was going to have burns on one side of my face, coming down my arm, forearm to my hand, my skin from my chest down to my side of my stomach, I thought it was going to be burns there. And I was going to be happy that I was still here and everything was fine. But something kicked in and everything started shifting real quick, and I remember certain things I needed to do right away to make things better for me. And the state that my body is in, because of what I have been doing to heal from the stroke, allow my skin to be in a better place, and me not putting all these toxic chemicals on my skin and on my hair, so that explosion of that battery and that fire, it couldn't keep burning because my skin was natural. Nothing was on it. Nothing was on my hair. Thank God I didn't have a wig on that day, because I do like wearing wigs sometimes. I just had my natural bush, and I've been wearing that mostly anyway. And so that saved me, and I don't put a lot of chemicals on my hair or anything like that. So in 14 days from a major laptop explosion in my hand, I just can't believe where my body is and where my skin is. And I got my vision back within that same day. And I'm going to tell you something else I learned too. Everybody knows that I'm dealing with with my right eye, and that I got one of those things they say is over it, and I'm not going their route, and it's been there for a minute. So because of this explosion, I was able to learn something, going through emergency and going through them giving me every kind of eye test that they could possibly give me, sonograms and everything. And they're looking, and so they got it fascinated because of the eye that has the cataract over it. They was more excited about that eye than the eye that was in the fire that had, my eyelid had skin off, underneath had skin off, my eyelashes were gone, and they worried about this eye over there. But what I learned was they must have a stronger drops that you put in your eye. Because when they got to the point where they wanted to clean my eye and put the drops in the left eye, it's like that eye just cleared up so clearly, I couldn't believe it. So my question to myself was, why she didn't do the right eye? Why she didn't put it over there? Would the stuff that they had put in my eye melted that cataract on my right eye? She didn't. I mean, I was in an explosion. Shit got everywhere. Why you not going to do both eyes? No, we just want to get you into surgery for that right eye. But I don't know that stronger formula that they have in the hospital. cleared up my vision so much in this left eye that when I thought it was getting weak, it became stronger. So I know now that there's no way, even though I knew before, it is no way I will ever go have eye surgery. Let them do anything, because I know they got them drops. I know that they have something that's going to clear up that cataract right then and there, right there, snap. I know it because she didn't put it in my eye. But then what I did find out, which was really, 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 really great and a blessing for me, was the eye doctor 2 years ago said, your retina is messed up. You done gone too long. It's going to really be difficult for you to have sight in that eye again. And this doctor was, the retina is pretty good in his eye. You just got a thick coating over there that needs to be scraped off. You should let us do it. Who slapped me upside my head? Bam! Say, oops, upside your head. So I told you what to do. That was Dr. Sabi. Dr. Sabi told me a while back to put your own urine in your eye and it would get rid of those cataracts. And I'm like, I don't know. I drank the urine before and I don't know. And you said when you put it in your eye, you had to step back. And I think I hold on to that. But after talking to this doctor about what went down, yeah, I think that I may go ahead and listen to Dr. Sabi talking to me, telling me what to do. Yeah. That's what I think I need to do. Listen to Dr. Sabi. So I'm going to tell you something, family. I'm a little bit all over the places like I was the week before last. But I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm thankful and blessed. The house is a mess. My roommate clothes is all messed up. I lost 4 laptops because they were all right there together, and the spray from whatever they do with the fire extinguisher and all that kind of stuff seeped into everything. And I'm disappointed my roommate's brother, who mama to Malik, his clothes and shoes and everything is all messed up because I happened to have been in that room doing the show that week, and when the laptop exploded, and I'm just blessed because, like I said, I ran out the door, went to my neighbors and said, the laptop exploded. I need you to put out the fire. I got to take care of my eyes. That's the most important to me right now. They came in. I'm so thankful for Earl and his wife, Sadie. They assisted with calling the fire department. The fire department came. They put out the fire and everything. And, yeah, they sprayed and everything got all messed up. And it's 14 days later, and I'm still trying to clean up. But we all were blessed. We were blessed that day because was changing insurances for the car. So happened we went to Allstate, and the representative saying, I added in fire insurance, and brother mom was like, we don't need no fire insurance. I'm like, well, she already had it in. We know what the cost is. It ain't gonna break the bank, so let's go ahead and keep it. And bam, what happened 5 hours later? Laptop explosion. But I'm learning something about insurance too. Fire insurance in the house and what they really do cover. So we got to be looking at that fine print in everything that we do. So a lot has been going on. I didn't do a quite live show last week, but that's all right. It wasn't due to me because, like I say, we're going to be here no matter what the body is going through. We're going to be here to share how to become your own wellness doctor, how to stay focused, and how to let that fear go. False education accepted as reality, and that false evidence appearing real. And that's because you got to rise. You got to rise in consciousness. And y'all know who I love. Y'all know I love the one and only person that says to you, you are the master of your thoughts and mind. Reverend Ike said, tell your mind what to think. Tell your feelings what to feel. Tell your body how to react. He said, master your mind. He said, master your feelings. Master your thoughts. And I'm telling you, in this day and time, you got to do that. He said, you must tell your human holographic image what to do, how to act, how to think. Call it insanity or call it sanity. Community. You got to shift your energy from what's going on. You got to let go of that fear. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to take some deep, deep breaths. And for 16 minutes, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to listen to one of the masters that's telling you how to shift, how to stay calm, how to eliminate all fear, hatred, and hurt for your good. Nobody else's, for your good. And that's why no matter what I see, no matter what's going on, I quickly shift my energy back to the vibrational frequency of love. So sit back and take some deep breaths with me while I calm down this nervous system and you calm down yours, even though you don't know that it's overactive. And let's listen to the words of Reverend Ike.
God is not mocked. Whatsoever man sows, that shall he also reap. Isaac planted good seed, and he reaped that mightily. And he planted bad seed, and he reaped that mightily. He sowed the seeds of failure even before he sowed his seeds of success. Listen, if there's some things that you've been striving with and some things that have not been quite clicking, I want you to go to the deeper, unconscious, subconscious level and ask the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, what is it? Say that with me. Holy Spirit, what is it? And open your mind to the guidance and to the light of the Holy Spirit so that you will get direct guidance. You will. And that's what I did about this situation. I said, Holy Spirit, what is it? Because many times, like Isaac, it's possible to get into self-opposition. And of course, you know, enemies are really only manifestations of your own self-opposition. Now, here is a man that before he planted his good seed, he planted bad seed. What did he set up? Self-opposition. The moment you fear, you set up self-opposition. The moment you accuse somebody of something, you create enmity. And it may not be that person that'll do you dirt, but your words will incarnate somebody to do you dirt. And don't blame them when they do you dirt. You gave them the dirt. Isaac gave them the dirt to do him. The only dirt that anybody can do you is your dirt. Reverend Ike, where did Isaac give them the dirt? When he accused them. He feared. The people in our experience are compelled by our subconscious accusation or commendation. Repeat after me. The people in my experience are compelled by my subconscious accusation or commendation. So you see, when Isaac first went to town, instead of fearing and accusing those people, he should have commended them. He should have said good things about them. He should have said, oh, these are wonderful people, even if they were rascals. These are wonderful people. You ought to go on your job every day saying what? These are wonderful. Instead of that old heifer down the hall. And that one that works over there, I could wring his neck. There's going to be some neck wringing, all right. But it's going to be your neck. Jesus said, every idle word that a mind shall speak, he shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. Amen. And the word is always becoming flesh. And the word became flesh and dwelt among us. Now you know where those heifers came from. Right out of your mind and out of your mouth. So I challenge you now that everywhere you go, all the people that you have to deal with, bless them. Even if they're bad, call them good. You beautiful thing, you. Say it in your heart. Don't say it, out of the say. They'll know you're up to something if you say it so that they can hear it. It's a mental state that you're dealing with. So since you've created those SOBs, now you're the one that's going to have to change them. You have to change them by the renewing of your mind. I want to repeat this again. The people in your experience are the incarnations of your thought. Your word is continually becoming flesh. And don't you ever forget, speak only the word you wish to demonstrate. If you want heifers, call people heifers. If you want enemies, call people enemies. You'll get them. If you want friends, call people what? Friends. All your wayward children, call them something good for a change. May shock them to death. When you're starting an enterprise, speak good of it. And speak good of everybody connected with it. What is the nature of my inner conversation? I want you to ride herd on that. That's very important. Now, Isaac finally got to Rehoboth, the well of enlargement, or as I call it, the well of greater prosperity. But he could not dig the well of greater prosperity until he had given up or forgiven strife and hatred. And one other thing, hatred. Let me tell you something. Hatred will stop up your well just as much as hatred. Well, Reverend Ike, I've got a right to cry. Yes, and you have a right to your opposition. You have a right to catch hell. So Isaac had to give up. He had to forgive. Now, let me tell you something, and this is interesting with me. I'm making some progress. I'll tell you where I am. I'm at the point now where I don't ever have to forgive anybody. I only forgive myself. And when I forgive myself, I discover I don't have anything else to forgive anybody else for. I forgive myself for being hurt. And when I forgive myself for being hurt, then I don't have anything against you to forgive you for. If you get on my nerve, I forgive myself for letting you get on my nerve. See, and then I don't even have to deal with you anymore. It's really only me that I have to deal with. If you hurt me, I forgive myself for letting it. And then I don't even have to deal with you. All right. To make your enemies be at peace with you. See? Opening the well springs of loving, peaceful agreement. Now we're going to read Proverbs 16 and 7. Isaac is at Rehoboth, and he moves on to Beersheba. Beersheba means the well of the oath or the covenant. I call it the well of loving, peaceful agreement. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now, in the text, which we may or may not read any or all of tonight, Genesis 26, 23 to 33, Isaac did a couple of things that pleased the Lord after he did a couple of unlawful things at the beginning, fearing and accusing. He gave up strife and contention. He gave up hatred and hatred. He forgave. And then he dug the well Rehoboth, the well of greater prosperity. And after that, his enemies came back to him again. You see, here they come again. They came back to him 3 times. But after they came to him twice in strife and in hatred, when they came the 3rd time, they came to make peace. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace. So, somewhere between Rehoboth and Beersheba, he looked up the hill and he saw those SOBs, the Philistines, coming again. Oh, God. I thought I had got rid of them. I thought I had seen the last of them, but here they come again. The 3rd time. Oh, God, what's going on? You see, he must have prayed some of those prayers like I prayed today, you know. God, what is going on? I have forgiven. I gave up that striving. I gave up the hatred and the hatred. I let them have those wells. Now, here they come again, back down the hill. So when they came up to him, he says, "Who's that? What you want?" And they made a little speech that it was, I don't agree with everything they said. It was jive, you see. But at least they didn't come to do him any more dirt. They came to him and said, now, Isaac, we didn't mean you any harm. We didn't really mean you any harm. We ran you out of town, but we didn't do you any harm. We chased you down the hill, but we didn't really do you any harm. We followed you and took your first 2 wells. We didn't do you any harm. Now, since we didn't do you any harm, we'd like to make an agreement with you. We'd like to make an agreement with you that we won't bother you and you won't bother us. He said, "Oh, my goodness. And this be old Abimelech? Talking this way?" He said, "Well, in that case, come on in. Come on in." He told his servants, "Go out there in the yard and roast one of those fat pigs. Make up a good meal for these guys and put some mats on the ground. Let them spend the night." And so they feasted. They spent the night, and the next morning they swore to one another. And the Philistines said, "I swear I'm not going to do you any dirt." And Isaac said, "And I swear I'm not going to do you any dirt." And that was the end of that dirt. And Isaac went on to Beersheba, the well of loving, peaceful agreement. So you see, when you give up the striving, when you give up the hating and the hurting, then your enemies will come to you again, but they'll come in peace and depart for the last time. Until the next time. Now, in the esoteric commentary, there is a definition for enemies. Deep thought and feeling, conviction and emotion in the mind that there is opposition to one's good. Listen, if you have thought and feeling, if you have conviction, emotion in your mind that you have opposition to your good, that in itself is your opposition. Really, nothing can oppose me but my own belief. What did I say? Nothing can oppose me but my own belief. And those beliefs incarnate enemies, thoughts and feelings, wells in the subconscious of self-hate. Now we're going to deal with another term here, self-hate. Now this is an insidious thing. Thoughts and feelings, wells in the subconscious of self-hate, causing one to think and feel that he is hated, rejected, and opposed, which creates and compels the manifestation of the same. Now, if you're always working against yourself, that is evidence of some self-hate somewhere deep, deep, deep in the mind. And it's got to come out. In the valley, low state of mind, of negative thought and feeling about himself, a mind practices self-disentitlement. Underline that, self-disentitlement. You see, it was really Isaac who dispossessed himself from his possessions, from his prosperity. Those seeds of fear and accusation became an act of disentitlement against him, and he lost his good. He was chased down the hill away from his good by his own negative thought and feeling of self-accusation, which caused him to accuse others secretly and inwardly. Listen, even when you read the newspaper, you got to be careful how you pass judgment. Isn't it terrible what they did? Isn't it terrible what he did? Isn't it terrible what she did? I am not called upon to do that. This is why the Master Jesus gave us some advice that isn't taken seriously enough. Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the same judgment that you judge, you shall be judged. For example, if you condemn Marcos, you're going to share his punishment. I want to say this again, because here is the area where many times people unconsciously condemn themselves. Now, let me say this. It may be absolute fact that a person has done something wrong and evil. It may be absolutely, positively a fact. But get out of the habit of jumping into what other people did.
What's been going on in the world today make you feel like Reverend Ike is talking about. But let me tell you what you got to do. You got to not hold on to that kind of fear, that kind of false reality, because you know the truth of your reality, because you know what you're creating, and you know the world that you are walking in. And don't ever let anybody try to shift you away from your understanding of who you are and what's in your subconscious mind. You know, that's what's going on with that field of psychiatry today. Not really understanding it. It needs to be let go. And the drugs that goes with it, that shifts people's energy, that shift things that's going on with the physical body. But you got to understand who you are and how you vibrate high and how you're higher than the high of the highs of the high of the land of here. You're higher. We're talking about rising above it all and knowing the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. So imagine the life that you want. Imagine the life that you see. Don't get caught up in what's going on and how other people are doing and what people are saying and what you think is hurt and what you think is harm and what you think is bringing you some injustice in your life. Because you know the truth. You know what you're creating, but you ain't got to vibrate to anything to understand it and keep moving your way. I'm here to tell you how to do it. Watch. Move forward. Taking those deep, 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 deep breaths and knowing who you are. What is it? And open up for direct guidance for God, you, and I dance. You dance that rhythm. You got to know what you know. You got to know who you are. You got to know how to be in this world. Have your feelings. Have your emotions. Have your understanding. Don't bring hurt or harm to yourself or anybody else. You know what that's called? They got their own karma, so you ain't got to worry about it. Just stay true to yourself in this life, in this world, and what's going on. And don't give your power away to people, places, or things. And know that you got to care for the physical body with nature. Become one with nature. Create that balance in your life. Nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except your fears. Nothing controls you except your beliefs. And remember, the Beatitudes is within that belief, and so is the word lie. You got to know. Nothing heals you except your own consciousness. And that's how I move forward through it all. Through it all, and keeping this balance and harmony through it all, no matter how it shows up from whoever it shows up. The card that I picked for the community today in closing, cause. What is a cause that got you feeling the way you feeling? They had you do what you did. They have you do what you're doing. What is your cause? What is your reason behind it? Take a deep breath. If you look closely at your own life, if you look closely at your own life, you will realize that you are sending signals to your body that repeat the same old fears and wishes, the same old habits of yesterday and the day before. Is that you? Could that be your cause? Because you can't move through. You can't recognize and see it and understand it and process it and move through it. That is why you are stuck with the same old body. My body is new. How about you? What is your cause to keep you in the same state of mind, the same state of thought, that don't allow you to rise from that state of consciousness that you have yourself in? You got to sit back, family, and you got to think about it. You got to know that love is all there is. So as I say to you always, are you ready to leave a man-made mindset of human consciousness and how somebody else wants you to think and feel? Definitely about health care for the physical body. I say get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your very own prescription plan for better health care. Come on, dance with me. ConsciousSelfCare.com. 1S connects conscious and self. Check it out. Use my tools of quantum health and healing to help you know what's going on with your physical body, to help you know what's going on with your energetic body, to look deep down at the wave patterns of your consciousness and what lies there and what you're holding on to. We all got these experiences. We all going through it. No matter what state of mind that we think we're in and what we know and what we happen, the human body is going to have those experiences. But what you going to do about them to keep yourself balanced? I've been balanced for a long time, and I'm going to stay balanced because I don't give my power to anybody. People, places, all things. I'm balanced. I come seated with the knowledge and the knowing of know thyself. So sit back this week and think about how you going to step up out of the dark ages of disease care. How you going to shift your energy to do the things you need to do for yourself. So sit back this week and take those deep, 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 deep breaths and feel that breath in your body as it permeates all the way through. Let it start at the tip of your toes and let it feel. It goes all the way up to the top of your head. And take yourself on a universal love ride.
And you don't even believe in the somebody in you.
Thank you for tuning in. Sharing this broadcast with a friend. Wow, family, that was a great show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to the Conscious Self Health Care Conversation Radio Show right here on Inner Radio. It was a pleasure having you tuning in. Now, you must tell a friend to tune in. And if you haven't called in and shared your wellness story, don't you think it's time that you help somebody with your wellness story? Call in, share your story, join the conversation. I'm Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, and I invite you to visit my website, consciousselfcare.com. Or you can just go to the number 4, the word CELLLIFE.com. Leave me some information. I would love to talk with you. And once again, I look forward to you joining us next Wednesday right here on the Conscious Self Health Care Radio Show. It's a conversation where we uplift each other, where we share our wellness stories so we can help someone move from disease care to conscious self-health care. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you next Wednesday.
Hey, listen, as real as I can put it, I need you to understand this. You weren't created to be used. You were created to be valued. You weren't created to be used. You were created to be respected. Here are 5 things that you need to apply to your life right now so you can stop being used. Number 1, believe patterns, not apologies. You have to understand this. People can say the right things. People can sometimes do the right things every now and then. But who a person is consistently, that's who that person is. Patterns don't lie. Do they just talk change, or do they actually make change? Do they just talk respect, or do they actually respect you? You got to stop falling for I'm sorry. You got to stop falling for I apologize. Literally, I am deaf to what you say until your change behavior gives me the reason to listen. Straight up. Number 2, don't fall in love with potential. I'm going to be real with you. Who someone could be, who you want them to be, who they should be, does not mean they will ever become that person. You have to understand this about change. It doesn't matter how much you want change for a person. It doesn't matter how much goodness you see in that person. If that person doesn't want to become the person that you hope they will become, it doesn't matter because they're not going to become it. Realize this. You cannot change a person. Yes, you can influence change. You can hope for change. You can pray for change. But until someone wants to change themselves, they're not going to change. Don't fall in love with potential. Don't let who someone could be make you blind to who they truly are. Number 3, believe red flags. Those red flags aren't there for no reason. They're there to show you that something isn't right. Just like if you were driving down the road and you saw a dead end sign, I promise you, you wouldn't keep driving. Just like if you saw a red light, I promise you that you would stop. It's the same thing. When someone's showing you red flags, don't ignore and believe them because it's telling you that danger is ahead. It's telling you that something ain't right, that something ain't real. And the more you ignore red flags, I promise you, the more you put yourself in position to get your heart destroyed. Straight up. Number 4, know your worth. When it comes to your job, relationships, friendships, I don't care what it is. You got to know your worth. You got to stop letting everything outside of you control everything inside of you. Those external things didn't give you worth. So stop letting those external things take it away. You were given worth at birth. And when you truly understand that, when you truly realize how incredible you are, when you truly realize how much greatness you have inside you, I promise you, you will stop settling for less and you will stop accepting less. Straight up. Number 5, don't lower your standards. Realize this fact. Someone who truly sees the best in you, people that truly see the best in you, whatever environment that you're in that truly sees the best in you, will not convince you to lower your standards so you can meet them at their level. What they'll do is they'll raise their standards to meet you at yours. You were not created, listen to me, you were not created to settle. You were created to be successful. You were not created to accept less. You're created to be your best. So don't let anything in life make you think you have to accept the lesser version of yourself to be incredible, because that makes absolutely no sense. But like I tell you at the end of every single video, it all starts with you. It's rehab time. Let's get it. Stop being used. Make the world respect your greatness. Straight up.